morning to you. We don't put your eye for Wazobia Max TV this morning. Welcome on top of the Good Morning Naija Extra Show. My name Naseyene, the last one. How about the? Hope so you sleep well. If you don't sleep well, no worry. After this show, if you go back and go sleep, call your guy tell and say I know if you make come today. Okay, welcome on top of the show once more time. I did throw away this better salam I give you. Thank you so much. They always put your eye on top of the station. Baba God, go bless your heart. On the show today, notice we always talk about things where they're very, very important. So I think some people they feel say reading culture or writing culture no they again for inside the Bodo Nigeria, but I don't really think that way. And it also gets some people where they say they get ideas where they for like put into books, but they don't know how they want to take wakaran because they feel say since Nigerians know they read, say their book no go sell. That's now why we bring you this ogbonge topic today, will be the story of writing. I just like put it that way, but originally now from manuscript to bestseller, the journey of writing for inside Obodo Nigeria. And I know sit down alone for inside the studio, but before you go see the fine lady, will follow me sit down for inside the studio. We go just grab one chicken break now for wet my throat small with my coffee, and then when we come back, we'll continue on top of the show. Now still the Good Morning Naija Extra with this, and my name Naseyene. Don't touch that dialogue. I come back. Welcome back. Now still the Good Morning Naija Extra Show with this. And my name Naseyene, the last born. I tell you say today we want to talk about bestseller, or sorry, manuscript to bestseller. The journey of publishing or writing for inside Obodo, Nigeria. And I've been telling you, say, I get one very fine lady will follow me sit down for inside the studio. She's a writer. She don't write her own books, so, and she also the write for people. I beg, help me welcome Jumoke Oluade. My clap for you. Papa. How you doing this morning?
I'm very well, thank you.
You have a very fine smile. Have they ever told you that?
I get that a lot.
Oh, you get it a lot. So this is why they talk that I come late. How you do?
I'm very well, thank
how body?
you. Good.
I always like ask people how their mental health day. How's your mental health?
Top notch.
With the stress of Nigeria.
We are coping, but it's good.
Coming down here, was it stressful?
Yes.
A little. Traffic.
Yes, as usual.
Okay, so make we enter the matter go where we get today. And we want to talk about from manuscript to bestseller. If you want talk, like if you want explain them to somebody, how you take explain them?
Okay. So how you start is you need to have a concept,
okay,
in mind. What do I want to write about?
Okay.
Then you draw like a blueprint or a skeleton of what you want to do.
Yeah.
So you map out your chapters. Do I want to write 10 chapters, 15 chapters, 20 chapters? Then another thing you also have to do is, okay, who do I want to write for? Am I writing for children? And if I say children, is it 0 to 5? Is it 5 to 10?
Okay.
Is it 10 to 12 or 13 thereabouts? Then
okay.
Do I want to write for teenagers? Do I want to write for young adults? Older adults? Then you also consider gender. Am I writing for male or for female?
Okay.
Or do I even want to write for older people? So once you pick your target market, then you move on from there to doing your first draft. Then you do a lot of draft, you keep on correcting, keep on fine-tuning it till you get to the final draft, which is the manuscript that will be ready for publication. So
now that manuscript, now you will come spread into chapters, or now the manuscript now be the entire book?
Yes, the manuscript is if you have not published it, it's called a manuscript.
Oh.
Then when you publish it, it's called a book. But if it is still in your laptop or somewhere, it is called a manuscript until it becomes something you can hold or a finished work.
Okay. So how do I form this idea? Because it starts from idea. Because I know say some aspiring writers go they look like they watch us right now and they're like, okay, I actually want to write, but I don't know how to take form this idea from my head. You know, say before our camera open, I tell you, say I want to write something. It's been because I write journals, so I get like I write certain things where they happen for instance in my life, and I'm like, one day I would like to transfer it to a book. How do I form that as an idea?
Okay. Nobody, everybody fits right.
No, thank you. Because everybody go feel so because I get fine handwriting and be writer. So
it's a gift.
Okay?
If it's there, it's there. If it didn't there,
Okay.
So that is it. So if you don't have the gift of writing, you might need the help of a ghostwriter to help you bring your idea to life.
Okay.
But if you have the gift of writing, well, that's the starting point.
Okay.
And you're like quarter or halfway in the journey. So it still goes down to you thinking about the concepts you want to write about.
Okay.
What do I want to write about? As I mentioned earlier, you consider the age group, you consider the topic, you consider your audience, and you consider what the market wants to. It might not be true in all cases, but you need to consider the peculiarity of your environment to determine what you write, so that it won't be as if you write, you publish, and at the end of the day, no one buys your book.
Okay.
So you have to consider that too in the journey.
So you don't just sit down, wake up, and start writing.
No. You know, as creatives, we have this idea of, I want my idea to come to life. I'm able to see what I can do. But there's a business side to it.
Okay.
If you want to keep on being in the business of writing or in the creative space, you have to consider returns.
Okay.
You have to consider what the market wants.
Okay.
Or how can I make the market desire what I want to offer them? It's a two-way, it's like a two-way street.
Okay.
You can give the market what they want, or how can I make the market desire
what I've written.
Desire what I want to put out.
Okay.
So if you can do your homework properly, then getting people to buy into your idea or turning your book to a bestseller will not be too difficult.
Okay.
But the marketing aspect of your work is very, very key.
Okay. So number one, you have an idea. Number two, you work on establishing your idea, and then you create your manuscript.
Yes.
And then you have to rewrite and rewrite and rewrite and rewrite until you get waiting you want.
Yes.
So that will lead me to my third question, maybe. What are the options, the printing options, or the publishing options where we get for inside Obodo, Nigeria?
Okay, you can do self-publishing,
Okay.
or traditional publishing, where you take your books to, you can give your manuscript to an agent,
Okay.
to help you shop around publishing houses.
Okay.
And if you know, or if you have a link to a publishing house, you can take it there.
Okay.
So if they like your concept, they take it on, they do the publishing, they do the marketing, they do the distribution, and there will be a profit sharing formula.
Okay.
But if you don't get chance, see publishing house,
So waka.
yeah, you can then go via the route of self-publishing.
Okay.
So you go to a printing press or whatever, you give them your book. First, you get an editor to edit your book before you do the final printing.
Okay.
So they print your book and you market your book yourself. And if you are good in marketing, you can also become a bestseller.
I know, say, in as much as this traditional publishing sounds very easy. No, I did go somewhere. You see that eyes when you roll. So now waiting at once. Because the way you say explain, I'm like, just like some people say, okay, if you just write your manuscript, finish, then you just wake up, carry your manuscript, go publishing house, will be the traditional way of publishing, and then they go just face them for you. What will be the challenges waiting for this traditional publishing?
One, you can't just go to publishing houses directly. You need to go through an agent. So it is the agent that will take your book to these publishing houses. It's like you submitting entry for a competition.
Okay.
It's the best entries that will get the prize. So there'll be a screening phase. So it's the best entries that will get the prize. So many people will submit to different publishing houses, and they will pick the best or the most valuable book that they feel that will give them good returns.
Okay. So you they go through agent. And then they will still, after, so for instance, I write a book about myself. I'll go submit them for traditional publishing house.
It's not a must. It is if you want to go.
No, I just they talk. Assuming I won't follow that route. I don't want to do personal publishing because now the two options where you give. I want to do traditional publishing. And then I'll still carry my book, come meet you, will be about my life. You can't screen them again.
They are into business now. They won't make money.
So the story of my life, sell.
Well, the story of your life is interesting to you.
Oh, might not
Other
be
people might not
interesting to
be,
another person.
yeah, so it's all business.
Oh,
they are putting their money into it now, so they must definitely get their money back. It's business.
Okay, so at the end game, now business might be. Okay, so now let's talk about editing, designing, and printing, because I feel say all those things really, they contribute to the reason why somebody, I know if the book cover no fine, I feel no buy them.
Yes.
If they know edit and well, I feel just read the first 2 chapters, then walk away. Do you understand? And then if they know design and well, they know print and well, you know, it gets the way you go buy book. Then I don't buy some books because I love reading. I don't buy some books where we say, na me go come, they use scissors. They either they trim or they separate the papers.
Yes.
It dey happen.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Well, when it comes to editing,
Yeah.
the general knowledge is that as a writer, you need to get an editor to edit your work.
Okay.
Because there are some mistakes you might miss out. But when another set of eyes take a look at
and we go do and
will
well.
help you do it properly.
Okay.
Then in terms of cover design,
Okay.
no, cover design is like to a book. Cover design to a book is like trailer to films.
Okay.
Most of us will rush to cinema if the film has a good trailer.
Okay.
If it's attractive, if it has this appealing or attractive or let's say magnetic feel.
Yeah.
We usually want to go to the cinema to watch that film because of the trailer. And there are times you go to the cinema to watch a film and you come back and you're like, the trailer and the film are like two ends of a pole. So for books too, your cover design is very, very important. I do book review and I experience the things you've said about, errors in spellings or even the grammatical structure. Then maybe sometimes page numbering or the issue of pages gluing together. I see that when I also review books as well. So, so it still boils down to quality control. So before you push anything out, there has to be quality control. Established publishing houses will not have that.
Okay.
It's only mushroom ones that you have such issues because they might not have a quality control department.
So let's move to marketing and distribution. We'll go push that one. I've been a traditional house and then they do that one.
No, they will do it, and if it's self-published book, you generally means you do it yourself.
Okay, so I've come to realize that some authors, after they don't write their book finish, they go struggle with selling the books. And it might be as a result of so many factors. But you feel just tell us some of the effective strategies where an author use take selling books. Of course, you don't write a book and you market your books. So probably from your experience, you feel explain to us.
Okay. As I said earlier, that when it comes to writing books as an author, you shouldn't just think about the writing aspect, the creative aspects. You need to consider the marketing aspects of the book. So, like my first book is a children's book.
Okay.
So and it means that my customers are the parents.
Okay.
But the consumers are the children. So when I'm doing my strategy, I have to target both customers and consumers. So I have to look for where I can get the consumers, or how I can get the consumers to convince the customers to buy my books.
Okay.
When you see anything that has to do with children, especially ads, it's children there trying to convince their parents, who are the customers, to buy the product because they're the ones with the purchasing power.
Okay.
So let's say you have a children's book now. The best thing to do is to look for ways to get into schools or the Ministry of Education at the state level, local government level, or federal level.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to sell your children's book, whether it's a textbook or a storybook.
Okay.
That's the easiest way. You can take it to bookstores, but if you are looking at volume, then you should consider that option.
School. Okay.
You should consider that option, selling to schools.
Okay.
Not just putting it in bookstores.
Okay.
You might not get enough sales there.
Okay.
So you should consider taking it to schools or involving or partnering with the State Ministry of Education or the Federal Ministry of Education. And if you can get it as a government-approved book, you spend it to the bank.
So that's for children books.
Children's book.
We have to talk about adult books. But we'll go talk about the thought first. We'll go talk about how adults fit also, because at this point, the children are the one convincing, because if my pikin cry, I go buy wetin you want for him. But as an adult, I feel look book come on my face. So how do you market that book to somebody if you just look and come out face? Make we grab this small chickly break. When we come back, we'll continue. Now still the Good Morning Naija extra show videos when they come back. Welcome back. Now still the Good Morning Naija extra show with this. And my name na Sayen, the last born. But I talk about books. Yes, books. Whether you like it or not, you must read books. At least if you don't read books, your children go read books. And even if you don't read books, at least I think you should consider writing. Or if you don't think and before, you know anybody who don't think about them before, tell and say, oh yeah, or sharply for whatever marks, then they talk about something really, really interesting. So I know they talk about this alone. I also get my sister looking very beautiful with me for inside the studio, Jumoke Oluade. I get the name correctly, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when they talk about books, okay, publishing books and moving from manuscript to bestseller. So it's different for you to just have the idea. It's another thing for you to pen the idea down and then move that idea to a publisher and then end up cashing out with that your idea. I summarize and well, right? Okay, so before we go the break, we will talk about marketing and distribution, moving your books. And then you talk about your own books where you don't write, will be children books. And then you also mentioned that the customer is the children. Sorry, it's the parents.
Yes.
But the consumer is the children, which is your targeted audience. But the consumer has to make the customer buy. So my question was, okay, that one are for Momo. But as an adult, which we also need books, we have to read, we have to learn. Because the more you read, the more your brain they open for you to know a lot of things. How do you market to an adult?
Okay.
Or distribute an adult book?
Okay, for adults, you can get influencers to talk about the book. And not just anyhow influencers that can convince people to buy books.
Okay.
Some influencers may not be able to do that job. So you have to be selective when it comes to that. Then you can organize book clubs. You can book clubs or book reading sessions. Then also book launch, where people come to celebrate your book and they give testimonials about the book.
Okay.
Then referrals. If your book is good, tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody, and it spreads. Because
I know there's this particular book that almost all the men in Lagos are mad. I think.
Damilola.
Yeah. So if I get the title of the book correctly, please.
Nearly all men in Lagos.
Nearly all men in Lagos are mad. So I started hearing about the book in, I be like now for one of the WhatsApp groups where they, and I'm like, oh, I was going to try it out. So now me first read the book. As I read the book finish, I pass them to my friend, and you see say, he move. So when me give one person, the person come hold and two ten, I say, give me back my book, Mona go buy that. And at the end of the day, they ended up buying it. And I did sure say, you know, your best friend is always another person's best friend. So they go talk to another person. So that should be a way to worry.
That's the power of word of mouth.
So
you cannot. It's very powerful. Word of mouth. They'll
recommendations.
They'll just help you spread your brand message
without. But the message has to be good.
Yeah, if it's good, they will help you spread it.
So if it's not good,
yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so let's talk about copyright. How do people do that?
When it comes to copyright,
copyright, that's when you protect your work. Yes, so that another person will go carry on.
If it's a self-published book,
yeah,
you have to ensure that the printing company you took it to have high integrity.
Okay.
So they don't go behind your back to print your books and sell. Then when it comes to traditional publishing, I believe that the publishing houses should take care of that to ensure that your book doesn't get into the wrong hands.
Okay, so if you just help us share some of the steps because your book, they don't, at least to protect your intellectual property, because that's not your property. How you protect your own property? How you do copyright for your own?
Okay, for my own now, it's just the printing house, the printing company I took it to that has a soft copy.
Okay.
And to the best of my knowledge, you have integrity. No one else has a soft copy.
Okay.
So as long as the soft copy is not everywhere, your work is secured. I'm speaking from the perspective of self-publishing.
Okay.
So it's easier to steal your work if they have access to the soft copy, unlike the hard copy. So that's just what I've been able to do so far.
So if the printing house or the publishing house come finally, because you know, say that's where they call devil, they push person sometimes go where no one go. So if the publishing house come probably publish your book, your concept, your idea, for another person, wetin be the legal actions wey you fit take?
I will definitely sue the person.
You go sue the person?
Definitely. We're going to court. Definitely.
For Nigeria judicial...
I will go to court. You'll be surprised. People get justice in this country. You'll be surprised.
So wetin be the penalty?
Well, I'm not a legal practitioner.
But at least you suppose know, since you dey protect your work.
Yeah, the person probably pay for damages or whatever. Pay for damages and...
Because recently, make I just use one scenario where happened recently of a particular content that was out there. You know, so when it comes to creative, it can be print, it can be soft copy, it can be a movie, it can be a song or anything. Copyright, they work for all of them when it comes to creative. There was this particular movie that was out there everywhere, and then all of a sudden there was a copyright infringement, something, they took it down. You know, that's very painful. So what do you feel say that person fit do to cover that thing? Because I don't know how I want to draft this thing the way it did for my head, because it's illegal to copy somebody's work. It's illegal. If you copy my work, like the way I sit down, now even if you say you copy my sit down, you go talk to my lawyer later. Because now me they sit down like this, the way they sit down. So do you get? And I know how much I get from my mind. Or I want to charge you. You're smiling. If somebody copy your work, how much you feel so if you get from the person?
I think I would wait for my lawyer to give me a recommendation on that.
You will wait for your lawyer to give you
to advice on that.
So
because I could say an amount now and it might be too small or too much.
Okay.
So I'll wait for a legal advice in that aspect, since that's the person's field.
Okay. So what will be the factors where person need to put in place about how do you determine that a book is going to be a bestseller?
You cannot determine it. It's the level of acceptance of the book. How your consumers accept the book. Okay, like your first book might be a bestseller.
Okay.
And it might be your 10th book. So you cannot say, okay, this particular one I'm writing is going to be a bestseller. It depends on the public acceptance of your book.
So the public can decide to reject your book if they are not feeling the book. Wahala be like.
And someone could have a first book that will be a flop and write another book and it becomes a bestseller, like The Alchemist.
Okay.
For Paulo Coelho, his first book was not too good.
Okay.
But he wrote the second book, The Alchemist, and today the book has sold over 10 million copies.
Okay.
And he has made millions from the book.
So there's no roadmap to knowing whether this book will be bestseller.
The only thing you can do is do your homework well. Do your homework well. Make sure you follow all the tenets of writing and everything you need to do to have a good book. Then you pray.
What's the tenets of writing?
Okay.
Writing get 10 commandments.
No, I didn't say commandments.
Thou shalt cover your Bible.
Should I say the qualities or factors that should be in place for a good writing? Which are, okay, 1, what is your story like? The concept of your story, the structure of your story. Is there a beginning? Is there a middle? Is there an end? What's the flow of the story? How coherent it is? Your characters in the story. How developed are the characters? Did you do a good character development for the story?
Okay.
Then your character's journey. Is the journey really smooth? Can we really follow the journey, or we start saying cut and paste in some of the characters' journey? Then your editing, your proofreading. These things matter a lot. Then at the end of the day, your marketing strategy. You can have a good book and not make good sales. And you can have an average book and the average book will make good sales. The marketing strategy in place for selling the book is also very important.
Okay. So with everything we don't talk so far, it'd be like, say, apart from having, you need to, number 1, have a good story, a good idea. And then number 2,
and a well-written book.
Might go back again. You need to have a good idea and it should be well written. And then secondly, your marketing strategy. Now you go determine whether that book go there everywhere or not only you and your bookshelf plus your family members go see the book.
Yes.
Okay. So which you go feel say the most important, because people feel get good marketing strategy. They give them to the best agencies to help them handle them, the best publishing houses, talking about traditional publishing. They give them to them to market them, but the idea is wrong. So which do you feel is better? should you have a good marketing agency or a good publishing house rather, or should you just have a good idea?
Both.
Both.
You cannot sell something bad. You cannot market something bad. It's only a matter of time your customers will find you out.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
In Nigeria?
Okay, there are times, let's use films now. There are times you see...
Because I was coming to that.
At times you see some trailers on TV and it's so appealing and it makes the film look interesting. But people go to the cinemas and they are like, I beg, don't waste your money. That film is just rubbish. Forget the trailer, it's just rubbish. Do you get? Okay, they marketed the film, but people they succeeded in getting people to go to the cinema, to pay to get tickets, but and it's going to affect the sales because it's still word of mouth. And word of mouth can be positive or negative. So once you start bad-mouthing your work, nobody will go to the cinema to watch that movie.
Okay.
But if it's good, so it's like a community effort.
Okay.
You have to work on the creative side and on the business side as well.
That's if you want sell for a very long time. That's because I feel just beg you small to differ. Beg you small to differ. Because there are some producers in Nigeria, since you mentioned movie, you get some producers where we say they want make sure say half of the population of Nigeria, that's over 100 million people, go watch on that first day. So they will market, you see.
The opening weekend is actually the opening weekend is very important. That opening weekend.
But the storyline is bad.
And when people go there at the opening weekend and they don't, and it doesn't meet their expectation, it's going to affect the other weeks the film will run at the cinema. So, but for any film, the opening weekend is very important.
So that means for any book where you write, make sure say you have a good idea. And I think actually for books, if the first, starting from the forward, because some people they read forward. Sometimes I don't. Because I'm like,
forward, introduction.
I read the forward by the numbers of pages.
Yes.
You think that's also a factor?
For me personally, my own view, I don't see the need to have like 5 pages for forward, 10 pages for introduction. I don't see the need, as far as I'm concerned.
So how many, if you want to recommend, how many pages you go recommend?
Well, for me, 1 page each.
1 page for forward, 1 page for...
Or 1 to 2 pages.
Okay.
Because the people are more interested in what you've written than what someone has said about your book. So you shouldn't bother them with like 5 to 7 pages of forward, 10 to 15 pages of introduction. Why are you schooling me? Do you get? Why should you have 10 to 15 pages of introduction when I still have to read your book? Why are you explaining your book to me? If I cannot understand your book all by myself without your explanation, then that means there's something wrong with the book.
So what's be the difference between this forward and introduction?
Okay, forward is written by someone other than you. Okay. The person has read the book and the person is giving like an honest opinion about the book.
Okay.
The introduction is written by the author. Okay, introducing the concept of the book and everything about the book in general.
Oh, okay. I see the difference. Any which ways, we still talk about from manuscripts to bestseller. We'll like small chickly break, we'll go do small buying and selling. And when we come back, we'll still continue on top of the Good Morning Naija Extra Show. My name, Naseyene, the last one. And my beautiful sister, sit there with me for a second. See the smile again now. Will they come back? Welcome back. Now still the Good Morning Naija Extra Show. And my name, Naseyene, the last one. We're going to talk about books. Yes, books. If you change that dial, I change that for you. Yes, we're talking about books. Okay, moving from manuscripts to bestseller for inside Obodo, Nigeria. Because I know say so many people there out there where really they aspire to write books, but they don't know how they want to go about them. And that's now why I get my own beautiful Jumoke Oluade with me for inside the studio. And we don't talk plenty things. We don't talk about how you first get your idea. You break down your idea, write the manuscript over and over and over and over again, right? And then also get a good publishing house and also a good marketing team. That's also very, very important. Okay. So you have a book, right? What's the title of your book?
Kami's Travels.
Kami's Travels. What is it about?
Okay, it's about the journey. It's about a 7-year-old boy.
Okay.
went on an adventure with his mom around Lagos to teach him about his history, heritage, culture, tradition, and just get him to familiarize him with his environment, what has happened in the past, what is happening now, and how to navigate the future going on. Okay. So just an adventure of a 7-year-old boy with his mom.
And now for children?
Yeah, 7 to 10.
Oh, you get age bracket. So that's also a thing.
Target audience.
Oh, I see. Now I feel connect the dots now. So if I want write for children, I got to make sure say whether I want write for the ones with inside belly. Because they read for those ones. So I mean, they read. I mean, I want write for 0 to 5 or so. It's also a thing.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about if, for instance, this our book now. We want to make it get international recognition. How you go take the one? Okay.
One, you have to put it on platforms that can give you that mileage internationally.
Okay.
Platforms like, I hope I'm allowed to mention platforms.
Mention one.
Okay. Okay. Amazon.
Okay.
If it does well there, then that means your book will be exposed to international audience and it will give the book good mileage. Okay. And you can also submit it to literary awards and stuff like that. Okay. Nobel Prize for Literature, another literary awards or stuff like that, or competitions that can give your book international recognitions.
Okay. So before they feel say, oh, probably they will just research about your book and then, so you have to be the one to go and submit to the book.
Yes. And also the Nigerian Prize for Literature as well. Okay. So they have 4 sections. Okay. 4 categories. Okay. And it's a rotatory form. Okay. So every year they have like, they can have children's book for this year. The next year they have drama. Oh. The following year they have prose.
And they rotate them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll have prose, have different.
I think 4 categories. 4 categories. So they rotate it every year.
So you have to be the one to push. It's still this work.
You have to carry your market on your head now.
So it's actually a case of carry your market on your head. So I know if you just sit down and write my book, finish my disclaimer, the book, they make money for me.
That is if you go the route of traditional publishing. Okay. They will do the work for you. Okay. And it will be profit sharing. You cannot get the money. Cannot get the money 100%. Okay.
So traditional publishing or personal publishing, which
self-publishing.
Oh, sorry, self-publishing. Sorry, self-publishing and traditional publishing. Which one you go advise?
Well, I think traditional publishing is good. Okay. For me, I think it's better.
So which is less expensive?
Self-publishing. Initially.
Okay.
Initially, it's less expensive. But when you factor in marketing, you know that it's also expensive. Except you want to restrict yourself to online platforms. Okay. But if you want to have hard copy of the book and to push the book, you need to spend money on marketing, which a traditional publishing house would take care of. Okay. And everything will come to you as a total package. Okay. So as person we don't write book before, if you want to advise more, that's me, we be aspiring author. Waiting you go tell me, waiting be your advice to aspiring authors. You must read a lot.
We'll still read again to write.
Okay. Because you need to have, your general knowledge level has to be deep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You need to read a lot. You need to watch a lot of movies. You need to listen to a lot of music. So this will expand your mind. You need to learn about cultures of different places, you can pick a continent at a time and pick some specific countries in that continent and learn about them. Because this knowledge will come in hand when you write, so that it will help you write from a deep understanding of life and not a shallow understanding of life. Okay. So the times I read some books and I'm like, this author is not a good reader, because such books will lack depth. Oh, you know, there are times you read some books and aside from enjoying the story, there is a background story going on, which is the big part of the story. That's how to know a good author. Okay. It's subtle. Okay. It's subtle. Okay. Do you get? Yeah. Like children now, when they watch cartoons, they are entertaining them. But at the same time, some cartoons are teaching them stuff. Like when it comes to Lion Guard, They are learning about the jungle, how animals in the jungle interact, and the peculiar behavior of different animals.
Okay.
When it comes to Blaze and Monster machines, they're learning about cars, how to fix faulty cars. But it's entertainment. So there's a subtle knowledge there about cars.
Yeah.
So as a writer, when you write your A story and people are enjoying your story, it should be like a B part. Let's learn about that environment. Let's learn about that culture. Do you get? So that's how you know a good writer.
Okay. So for an aspiring author way out there, first of all, you have to read.
Yes.
You have to read a lot of books. You have to study other people's culture. Just put yourself in other people's business.
Yeah, and how to study other people's culture. The easiest way is to watch films. You watch American films, European films, Indian films, Asian films, African films. So that's the easiest way to learn about people's culture.
Okay.
That's the easiest. So when you write, you just chip in all these things, and it will help you attract better audience.
Okay.
Because there's something unique about your writing style.
Okay. So you don't feel that is unique to a particular type of writing?
No.
Whether motivational books or dramas or whatsoever?
Writing in general. Even if you want to write, even if it's script writing, content, anything that has to do with writing.
Okay.
You must be a lover of knowledge.
Okay.
And it must be a constant desire to learn more and be better.
Okay. So that's the only thing you need to learn.
The major thing.
Then what follows?
Then you must also work on your crafts. Because I've met writers that are good, but when you read their work, you see errors, you see spelling errors, or you see editing issues. So you also have to work on that too. And if the writer is finding that difficult, you can just write your work and give it to an editor to edit for you, so that your work will always come out good. Okay. Then for aspiring writers, particularly children, let's say teenagers that want to write, or even pre-teens that want to write, they shouldn't joke with their English language subject or class now. Things like composition, comprehension, spellings, and grammar. I think they divide it into 4 sections now. Composition, comprehension, spelling, grammar. Okay. They shouldn't joke with that subject. Okay. Those aspects of English language, they shouldn't joke with it. Because that is like the foundation
of them being a good writer in the future. Hope so you don't learn. Thank you so very much for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Do I get a copy of your book, or I have to be 7 to get it?
Sure.
Thank you so very much, Jumoke, for coming out. And I did sure say this profound, I won't call it a lecture now, because it be like lecture for me. Also, this discussion, you don't shall learn 1 or 2 things about writing, moving from manuscript, of course, to bestseller for Inside Obodo, Nigeria. Please get your craft together. Practice and practice and practice. Read, watch movies, listen to music, and also learn other people's culture. Thank you so very much that you joined us on the show today. Thank you so much, Jumoke, for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
God bless you. Keep smiling. Till we'll come your way again tomorrow. See ya. Bye.